is the One Episode Rule podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. Watched more shows, but not the same shows because I can't ever focus on anything.
Heh. Nice. What'd you watch?
I've already rewatched half of My Dress Up Darling.
Aw, that's a good
But
one. Very
I
nice.
meant to be watching Beck and Dan to Dan, but I simply
Uh-huh.
didn't do that.
I
How
just
are you
What
doing?
about Bochi the Rock?
I finished Bochi the Rock.
Oh,
He's
did
already
you?
seen.
Good job.
I did that in a
Congratulations.
weekend.
Very
It has
nice.
been defeated.
The Bochi has been defeated. Hi, I'm Joey. I've actually been watching the anime shows this week. I watched, let's see, I think I'm on episode 10 of the one we watched last week. The 16 pixel, 16-bit, whatever the hell it was called.
Oh yeah,
Another
16-bit
layer.
sensation.
It's good. It's a cozy little show. I'm having a good time. Very low stakes. Listen, fun show. That's me. That's all I've been doing.
Hi, it's me, Louis. I watched some stuff, I guess. I read more of Blue Box.
Oh yeah, how's
Um,
that? How's the manga?
it's cute. Um, they don't really focus on home life as much, so if anything, it's just the social pressure of a guy and a girl that aren't related living under one roof and not letting them find out in school,
Mm,
I guess. I
I
don't
see
know how
what
long
you're
that's gonna last, but that's the current, flavor.
I
Um,
straight up forgot what Blue Box was and was imagining you talking about Blue Lock. And I was
oh,
just
yes.
like, yeah. And when do
Yes.
they get to the soccer?
I do need to watch more Blue Lock. I watched some of Solo
Mhm.
Leveling.
Oh yeah,
Because that's back.
that is back.
Um, there's also something else that I've had my eye on, but I'll get to that later.
Um, you guys want some news?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with some news. First
Ow!
news item: Moreohedoro. We have
Moreohedoro.
we have confirmation now about when this fabled second season is coming, and it's this year. This is 2025. We're getting this. That's
You
it.
can't say that. That's not allowed. It's not true.
What?
It's not 2025.
It's here. I'm sorry to tell you.
Unfortunately, it is the year 2525, and mankind is still alive.
But
Against all odds.
are they still making anime?
It seems like
They're making more Dorohedoro. Thank
Oh,
God.
finally.
at least that. Um, let's see. In bad news, I guess bad news. Dragon Magazine is done.
Huh.
And you guys might not know that much about Dragon Magazine, and I never read Magazine. However, I am still actually kind of fucked up about it because you'll recognize some of the stuff that came out of Dragon Magazine, like for instance, the Record of Lodos War was
Wow.
serialized in Dragon Magazine,
Oh
and this is
yeah.
not the comics; this is the fucking novels.
Wow.
Um, Slayers came from
All
Dragon
right.
Magazine.
Yeah.
High School DxD came from Dragon Magazine.
Wow.
It ran for 37 years. Um,
Damn.
and yeah, Katakawa says, we're closing it.
Rest in peace to a real one.
We're gonna open up a new service for light novel enjoyers, but no more Dragon Magazine.
Aw.
It's just like, oh man. And all the authors who I just talked about are just like, oh man.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah.
Yoshitaka Amano's illustrations appeared in Dragon Magazine in his
Uh-huh.
early career. Like, so yeah, big deal. Um, and finally, a man in China has spent millions of dollars to build millions of not dollars, yuan, I think, uh, to create a life-size replica of Crayon Shin-chan's house.
Oh,
That's
I,
fun.
I
I
corrected
thought you were gonna
myself.
say of Nami's boobs for some reason.
Of Nami's just an enormous, perfect model. No, I corrected myself because 3 million yuan sounds like a lot, but it is approximately $410,000, which is the
Whoa.
price of a new house in the United States.
Yeah.
Whoa.
For that price in farming China, you could rebuild Shin-chan's house. I'm going to hit you guys with this article because aside from being a perfect replica of Shin-chan's house, it is also like hauntingly beautiful on the inside
I believe
in a
it.
very like modern art kind of way.
Whoa.
It's so
Yeah.
flat in there.
It's made out of crayons.
That's true.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
It's
Crayon
got so
Shin-chan
many
is
colors.
the series that the author was like taking a hike and just fucking fell off the mountain, right?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay. Well, this was in like 2009.
That bathtub is crazy to me. It looks like it's made out of paper, but it also at the same time looks like it's made out of concrete.
I so badly want to bathe in there. I so badly want to bathe in there.
I just want to sit around in that fucking mint green living room.
Oh
It looks
man.
like fucking pistachio ice cream.
Fantastic.
Anyway, that's
So
the news.
I'm bringing something, right?
Yeah.
Are we not going to
Um,
talk about Fortnite Miku?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
What happened today? I didn't like have it in the news. We were gonna record yesterday, but didn't for some reason. Um.
it's my fault.
So Miku in Fortnite Miku. She's here.
Miku,
World
I have
is
her.
hers.
The
She's
world
mine.
is hers.
Miku is
Joey
yours.
Joey can't obtain
I
her.
can't. They won't let me have the V-Bucks. Shaking Fortnite furiously until V-Bucks fall out of it and I can purchase the Miku skin.
So
Shake it hard enough until Miku falls out.
Yeah, there we go.
shake it
Anyhow.
like a Polaroid picture.
Yep.
So yeah, Louis, what did you want to bring?
So I don't know. I've lost sleep over this. I've been tormented about this decision because I have two things that I'd like to show.
All right.
And I've been going up until probably the start of the podcast, and I was like, I don't know which one I'm going to bring. Like, you can ask Joey. I was like talking to them, and I'm like, I don't know which one of these I'm going to bring. I didn't say
Yep.
what they were, but so I finally come to a conclusion, and I think it's for the best for everybody. How do you feel about Hitman?
About
Whoa.
Hitman?
Yeah, like as a topic.
We've examined some Hitmen in here.
Well,
Sometimes
we've hit
it's
on some men before, yes.
sometimes
okay.
it's gone well.
Maybe just me.
Well,
Well, go ahead.
maybe it's time to check out Sakamoto Days.
Oh, hey,
All
yeah.
right, let's go.
That did just premiere, so yeah, let's hit
It's
it.
here.
That scene in the Matrix where they're in the white void and then they summon all of the guns, except it's just racks and racks and racks of garden tools.
Yeah.
Shovels, rakes.
Shovels
Because there was a rake there too. Like it was on the other side.
Listen, you never know what you're gonna have to be prepared for.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to
Sometimes you gotta rake
identify
it.
all of his guns. I saw a fucking Mosin in there. I'm just like, why do you have a Mosin?
He's
Why do you have
gotta
a
be
gun from
prepared.
1897?
Hey, so is Sakamoto John Wick coded?
Sakamoto's a little bit John Wick coded. I like to think of him as literally inverse the Fable.
Wow.
Because it's really funny how they tackle basically the same idea from entirely different ends. Because the Fable really doesn't want to live a normal life. He really hates it.
Right.
But he's put
Oh
in the
man.
same situation. So yeah, I'm gonna read this blurb because I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah. Let's go.
Read that blurb.
Taro Sakamoto was considered the greatest hitman of all time. Feared by many, he stood at the top of the underground world until he met and fell in love with a woman. As a result,
woman.
Sakamoto abandoned his life of crime and now works as a convenience store clerk. Leaving his shady past behind proves more difficult than Sakamoto initially imagined. Many of his former rivals and partners do not believe that he has truly left the business and show up in hopes of taking him out. Barred from killing, Sakamoto must find creative ways to subdue his enemies and prevent them from bringing harm to his family, his store, and the small town he resides in. That's it. That's all of it.
Oh, okay. We have some things to
Sakamoto
talk about.
One of them's a deer.
One of them is from Hotline
One of
Miami.
them. Yes, this is true.
One of them is just Lugosi from
No,
or is it
no,
Louis? Which one's the
Louis.
deer?
Louis.
It's
Actually,
Louis is the
Louis
deer.
is the deer.
Lugosi is
I'm the deer.
wolf.
Lugoshi
He-
is the wolf.
Now you pissed me off again because I
Uh-oh.
just remembered how they keep saying Lugoshi and that I'm just
They
like,
do
it's
say it that
Lugosi.
way. I understand that you're angry, but they do pronounce it Lugoshi.
That's the stage name he chose for himself.
Okay, but the anime character is Lugoshi. I
can't-
know.
You're not gonna
We
name
gotta
him.
talk about this show
You
now.
name a
We can't.
character
Hey,
after
so
a person.
Sakamoto Days is about a guy. He's a
Sakamoto
hitman.
Days.
He used to be like this really cool hitman that
He is
killed
still
people.
cool.
Hang on, wait a second. I'm gonna hit something. Sakamoto's dead.
No,
Anyway,
he's very much.
I thought
not.
he was going to be like an 80-year-old man or something just because of his like design. No, he's like probably like 36 or some shit.
no, he was just like gray haired from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a white-haired
Looking
anime
at this
boy.
man, you could be forgiven for thinking this was a cartoon version of myself that I drew.
I honestly, yes. I was thinking the
That's
entire time like
true.
they would do scenes. I was like, this looks like
Uh-oh.
The only
Magpie would
difference
draw
is
himself.
the only difference is that I do not wear round glasses. I wear
This is
square
true.
glasses.
Oh, chat,
Legally
I'm
distinct.
cooked.
I'm more geeky than Boba.
Oh my
but,
god, I haven't thought of that in years.
But yeah. So yeah, we opened up on this and we learned just how good at hitmanning he is. He's so good that he doesn't shoot people from far away
Yeah.
because because it doesn't appeal to his sense of drama.
Also, he does the sort of if you've ever seen Lupin, he does the Goemon move where he just cuts all of the bullets out of the air.
Yeah, he likes to whack bullets away. He likes to cut guns in half. My favorite thing he does actually much later is my single favorite move he does is rip the slide off of a Glock, which is very funny.
Wait,
Which I
the
believe
folklore,
John Wick also does.
Yes.
the folklore character Goemon shows up in Lupin.
He's
He's
like
a
a
primary
descendant.
character.
Okay.
It goes
Anyway,
like
He's like a distant descendant, the way Lupin is a distant descendant of the
gotcha.
thief.
Okay.
Yeah.
if you had to rank Lupin characters in like importance and how often they show up, I think it goes like Lupin, oh my god, I forgot her name.
Jigen. No, Fujiko.
Fujiko, Jigen, and then
Jigen,
Gomon.
and then Goemon.
Because Gomon isn't there sometimes.
Wow, we're talking about every anime except
I
this
don't.
one. It keeps
Okay, well, to
happening.
keep talking about stuff that's not Sakamoto Days real quick. The only reason why I know Goemon is because of Kamen Rider.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Hey, do we want to talk about another anime for another minute? Because Edward Elric is here too.
Oh yeah, Edward Elric is here.
He's not.
Yeah.
No, he's if anything, he's the fucking lightning guy from My Hero Academia.
He's a
I
little
can see
bit of
that
that
comparison.
too. So yeah, we do have a scene in which Sakamoto, young Sakamoto, kills like shitload of guys. He just killed. This is a Yakuza fight because I think it's very funny. The guys start shooting at him, and then one guy shows up with a sword, and I'm just like, yeah, this happens in Yakuza.
Yeah, and they're like, the bullets aren't working.
Some
Try
guy,
a different weapon.
guys try and hit you with a car. Some guys shoot at you with a machine gun, and then one guy is just like, I'm gonna get him with a butterfly knife.
I'm gonna get him with a bike. I'm gonna hit him with an object.
After he watched all of his friends get killed.
Like, surely this will be different.
It's like when you're playing Marvel Rivals and a Doctor Strange puts a portal up in front of the lobby and you watch everyone go through it and die.
And then you're just like, I should take that portal to get to get there faster.
Yeah.
So
and then you die.
Yep.
So after that, we get that flashback, and then we sort of enter the world of Shin. because Shin is going to be our viewpoint character, really, because Sakamoto himself doesn't speak that often.
I
really like
actually
that.
was not sure that he was going to speak at all.
He spoke
Me too.
once.
I think I would not be surprised if they have like him speak once an episode and that's it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a reticent man.
it's very good.
I also identify with this in person. I am much more reticent than I am on a podcast. I often simply am sitting there chewing my noodles. But yeah, Jin.
We talk about how that twerp just had a whole bottle of ink in his backpack.
Yeah, why did he have a whole bottle of goddamn India ink in his bag?
This is something that I would have done as a baby.
And yeah, actually, you're right because we don't immediately hang out with Shin. We have to have a scene because we see Sakamoto young, and now we see Sakamoto fat because he is
It's a very quick cutscene. It's just like he goes to a convenience store, he sees a cute girl,
Mhm.
He gets a
bing
nosebleed.
bang boom.
And yeah, he's a convenience store
woman.
clerk now. He is and he's significantly rounder. And he's just sitting there, he's sort of vibing. They do a thing where his glasses are always white with reflection, so you very rarely see his eyes. It's hard to parse what he's thinking. But yeah, some kids are playing around, and yeah, there's a kid drawing in dry erase marker on his door, on the electric doors. Just be like, hey, I gotta, if I get a bullseye, I get a free juice, huh? And Sakamoto says nothing to this.
He just pretty much he's just like, all right.
He's just watching him with vague disinterest. And he and his wife is just like, oh, come on now. And the kid shoots this suction cup arrow at it and just straight up misses.
Not even close.
And he's just like, oh shit, okay, give me one more try. And they're just like, ha ha. And as he goes to pull the arrow, he trips over his own shoelaces, and his bag, which is unzipped, comes all the way open, and all the contents come out, including a big fucking bottle of artist grade India ink, which he has in his bag for no good reason.
And of course, at that very moment, who else could be walking through the door?
Like you can get India ink for like a decent price. Like it's not that hard to make, but why like I don't think there's any good reason for a child of his age to have that other than mischief.
Like I said, if I were a child, I would have had this.
I'm suspicious.
I was an artsy kid.
I was an artsy kid too, but my parents would have never given me this at that age.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, don't carry that shit around in your backpack. But yeah, he dumps it all over this guy's white pants. By the way, this random tough guy, excellent fit on this guy.
Because this guy looks like a little bit of a gangster.
Yeah, he looks like a guy from Yakuza.
Yes.
Who is just here and doesn't know anything about the hitmen, so he's just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they were going for.
But yeah, he's wearing stark white pants and he's wearing a purple collared shirt and some nice shoes. And he gets to walk into this convenience store and have his nice pants ruined with India.
Yeah, that ain't coming out
too.
You know, that ain't coming out.
And he picks up the kid by the collar and he's just like, yo, what the fuck, kid? You got to make this right. And the kid panics and he's flailing around and he puts his foot on the other guy on his other leg and leaves a big black footprint because he stepped in the ink. And the guy's just like, you little shit. And he just winds back to punch him. And Sakamoto grabs him by the wrist and jabs a ballpoint pen under his jaw.
John Wick's him. This is what I'm saying. He's John Wick coded.
Except
I think John Wick is Sakamoto coded personally.
You know?
Sure. And then and then a voice says, ooh, ballpoint pen to the jugular. That's a rough way to go. And as we turn to Shin, we realize that Sakamoto has not done this. He has simply
just grabbed his arm.
He has simply disarmed this man's anger and forced him out of the store. And he's just like, yeah, he's just like, hey, Mr. Sakamoto, it's me. We used to work together. My name's Shin, remember? And Sakamoto immediately like
just
destroys his jaw with a palm strike, and he's just like, what's the first thing you think about killing me? It's just like, But you
'Cause it
remember,
was
I'm
also
clairvoyant.
imagination.
I'm
Yeah.
clairvoyant. I know what you're thinking. Uh, so they take some time to catch up. Uh, I don't know why his wife is cool with this. She's like,
It's
"Hey,
hard to tell how much she knows.
I've seen a clip from later, which I really shouldn't admit into evidence, but she knows the whole deal." Um,
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well,
and if I was
that's
her, I'd
true
be
love.
like, "Hey, you can't be letting these motherfuckers come to the store."
But also, like, fair, like, she must trust him. He's got it under
Mhm.
control.
Uh,
I think the only stipulation that they didn't actually go over in this episode, but it's within the summary. Like,
the
I
clip
think the
I
only
saw,
stipulation is that she doesn't want him to kill anyone.
the clip I saw was related to how they made this arrangement, and yes, he does. She doesn't want him to kill people anymore.
Right.
So
So,
he
like,
appears to be trying not to kill anybody.
yeah. Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
he will beat them within an inch of their life.
I mean, it's questionable because, like,
He
there's a
slices some
scene.
people
I
later.
was gonna say there's a scene later on where he's like, "Well, I guess they technically might not have died."
In fact, they could probably live through that, but it does suck. Um, but yeah, he catches up with Shin for a while, and Shin is just like, man, it's like you were the best. You were the best there ever were. And he's eating his cup noodles. Yeah, a lot of cup noodle like ad placement in
So
this
many
show.
cup noodles.
Uh,
They look great.
and he's just like, I remember when you only ate rations. Um, what's the point to being a high-powered assassin, like who makes shitloads of money if you're only going to eat rations? Like, what is that? What are you going for? The
I
fucking
know.
prestige?
I
There's
know.
no prestige to being a hitman. But
You gotta do something fun. Come on.
like he really is Agent 47ing it. Um, but actually, that's not true because you can tell Agent 47 has different interests because he's good at everything, including like baking and playing the
Uh-huh.
drums and shit.
Uh-huh. It's like,
And we're
why
back
would
to
you know
not
how to
talking
do
about
this?
Sakamoto does.
But
Listen, there's a lot of Hitman related content out
there's
there.
some
No one,
It's
no one's talked
relevant.
about Gotta Kill Hitman Reborn. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
there's a there's a great amount of intertextuality between all of
yes.
these Hitman shows.
We're
Okay.
weaving a beautiful tapestry here.
Well,
Come on.
we faster.
So so yeah, they're sitting there, and he's just like, please come back. You're wasting your potential. And Sakamoto's just like clearly just like, no, I don't do that anymore. I'm retired. And he's just like I can't believe how fat you got. And he goes to light a cigarette, and Sakamoto it spontaneously just erupts in half in his mouth.
Yeah.
And Sakamoto taps the sign that says no smoking while he's slowly closing a box cutter.
Yes.
It's very menacing, but I thought at this point that I was just like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck? You are outside. What
He's
business is it of yours, fat man?"
he's
I mean,
making a point. Come on.
if he can do that shit, I'd listen to him. Is all I'm saying.
You can't go through your life like that. He says,
There's no going through it. It's you put the cigarette to your lips, you light it, and then it gets cut in half by a box cutter.
he didn't even light it. No,
Didn't
actually,
get a chance to.
to tell you the truth, I'm the kind of asshole that'd be like, okay, so you owe me a cigarette. But anyway, uh, a guy rides up on them while they're having this conversation about how he's so disappointed in him, how he got fat in just 5 years. And he says, "Mr. Sakamoto, just like I needed your help, but with something. I don't know who else to ask." And he's just like, "Oh, is this guy in disguise? And he's really asking for a hit? I better follow them." So he tags along, and this guy's just like, "Yeah, the trees back here need a trim, but I can't get all the way up there, and I don't have a ladder." And so
This
Sakamoto like uses his fucking wire fighter kung fu skills to like
he's
bound into
just
the tops of the trees.
He is just whooshing through these treetops, trimming the hell out of them.
And Shin follows him around while he just does errands for
Just
people.
does little chores for
I
you.
forget what the other one is, but I do want to talk about the one I posted the picture of.
Okay,
Which
well,
is
the one that you didn't mention, he's like, someone's like, oh, I can't get my baby to eat their food. And
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's just
feeding a
feeding the
baby.
baby. And then they run into two kids who have a ball, and it's just like we can't play with just one ball. And and what he does is he takes the ball from him, tears it in half, and then rubs both halves together and produces two complete balls.
This
This
It's
man,
like the
now
chocolate.
now I am scared of this man.
infinite
It's like
ball hack.
the infinite chocolate.
Yeah,
When
infinite ball hack.
when he cut my cigarette in half, I wouldn't have been scared of him. Now I'm frightened.
What if he had cut your cigarette in half and suddenly
This
gave you 2 cigarettes?
He
this
made two
yeah.
cigarettes out of it, like
This scene
fucking
made
King
me laugh
Solomon.
so hard.
There is a scene, forgive me, there is a scene in like the middle of Twin Peaks that is never addressed later, in which there is a child
Like the
magician
corn.
who steals fucking creamed corn off of somebody's plate and just holds it in his hands.
They never
He
explain this.
steals every drop of liquid off of the plate. The plate is dry, and he's just standing there with two hands
He
full of
just
creamed
has it.
corn.
And
And
it
nobody
doesn't mean
explains
anything.
how he did it.
He's just
And
like,
that is the
he got your
scariest
corn.
moment of that show for me.
Mm.
He took my corn.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this is what Sakamoto does. And it's just like, what are you, the whole goddamn town's handyman?
Yep.
It's like you've changed. I'm leaving. And he goes back to his truck, and because he's driving an SUV, and he sits down in his truck, and he's just like, man, Sakamoto really did go soft in 5 years. But he was so cool the whole time.
He's like wriggling around in his
Yeah, he's
car,
wriggling
slamming his
around.
head against.
He's slamming his head against the
Oh, I
horn.
fucking love this scene. I need a gif of it.
There's like
Yeah.
a mom and a child in the parking lot, and she's like, "Don't look, sweetie."
They're straight
And
up
the
doing
car
the
is like
don't look
bouncing.
Henry.
Well, yeah, it cuts to the outside and the car's just bouncing like that. It's
It's
just like,
really funny.
And
Also made me laugh.
and then he gets a call from his boss, and he's just like, how's the Sakamoto situation? And he's just like, did you take care of him? It's just like, well, he's just like, he's gotta die. You don't leave the organization and live.
Yep. Oh, we got
He's
one of
just like,
these.
oh man. This is like, and he starts to chew him out, and he just hangs up on him, which I think is funny.
Mm.
Like, none of these assassins respect the bosses.
no.
Except for the Fable, a notable exception to the Fable, because the Fable's boss would just kill him.
Fable's not in
But,
this show.
but I'm allowed to talk about the
We're
Fable.
thinking about our friend the Fable. Anyhow.
He's not my friend.
Whoa.
So yeah, Shin goes back to his house, and he's thinking about it, and he's just like, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to do this. I can't really get out of it. You know,
Someone's gonna kill him. Might as well
there's
be me.
there's an army of assassins out there. If somebody's gonna kill him, I'd rather it be me. And he just reaches over on his nightstand, and he just has a gun on his
It's
nightstand
right.
out. I was just like, my dude, you are in Japan. Like,
Bro.
you're just gonna let somebody look through your window and see that shit?
He don't
To be
care.
fair, he is. Well, do we know that he's yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's psychic.
Like,
Okay.
he's psychic, but
Yes.
They have mentioned this a few times at this point in the show.
Okay.
But,
Clairvoyant.
like, it's dubious. At the earlier part of the show, it's dubious on like if it's actually real or not, because you could just be like, oh well, he's just imagining Sakamoto.
well, he
doing
could be
these things.
he could be Joseph Joe starring it.
Right.
Now
Something.
your next line is
Literally,
but,
yeah. Later on, we will learn. No, he very much does.
It
have
appears that he
abilities.
can just straight up read people's minds.
He can actually do that.
So this is a world in which he can do that, but I'm still more upset by Sakamoto making the two balls.
This is a universe. This show could take place within both Mob Psycho and John Wick. How's that?
Mob Wick.
Whoa.
John Psycho.
John Psycho.
So yeah, Shin prepares to do it, and the next scene is he's got his gun, he's got his 3 mags, and he's walking up to the place, And he walks past the kid from earlier who's just like, hey, yo, what kind of shit is this? Because Sakamoto, I don't know whether Sakamoto has a daughter or if he adopted this child. But yeah, it's the girl child who lives with them. Um,
I think that's his because
It's
they
his. Yeah.
showed
she
them
might be
in the
5.
hospital.
Yeah, yeah,
They
I think
showed
that's
them in the
true.
hospital. There was a scene earlier
They had
on
a
when that
Yeah,
baby.
happened.
yeah, they very specifically said Sakamoto fucked.
This man
He
fucks.
will fuck
This
again.
man is too shy to kiss his wife at his wedding, but does fuck. This is a Goku. This man is a
Uh-huh.
Goku.
Uh-oh.
But do you guys remember that lore implication from Dragon Ball that Goku has children but doesn't know what kissing is?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Um.
Yes. It's very funny.
Uh. But yeah, he turns up to the place and the brat kid from before is hanging out with Sakamoto's daughter, and he's just like, "Yo, what kind of shit is this? You think this is alien shit?" And the girl is just like, "Ew, what's wrong with you?"
It's
And he
like dog
continues
poop.
doing this bit in the background. At one point, he has it on the end of a stick, and he's just like, "Hey, Mister, look at it."
Hey, look at this weird poop I found.
What's
It's
wrong
just
with
like,
you?
I'm not looking at that. I'm
Um,
here to do murder to your
yeah.
father.
And Shin walks
Or
past
this.
Sakamoto's wife, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, I recognize you from the other day." And he just walks past her while she's trying to greet him, and he's just like, "Sorry, playtime is over." And he's screwing the silencer onto his pistol. Uh, and
In
which is
broad
weird
daylight.
because he puts it back in his pocket. Um,
Yeah.
and he walks in, and Sakamoto's sitting there, and he's standing in the he's just standing by the electric doors. Um, and he's just like, "Yeah, I am leaving town, but I wanted to make sure." And Sakamoto is eating a piece of hard candy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Hardly
that I
even
could
paying
say
attention.
goodbye. And he pulls the gun on him and fires. And Sakamoto just spits the jawbreaker at him. And it
Diverts the
collides with the
bullet.
bullet and deflects it into the counter.
Uh-huh.
Which is how this fight is going to go, basically.
Yes. It's a lot of candy-based attacks.
Um, Sakamoto throws custard pie filling at him at one point.
Yes.
Um, he slingshots some jawbreakers at him from one of the aisles. He is hiding his thoughts somehow so that Shin cannot figure out where the fuck he is.
He might just not be thinking.
He might not be thinking. He might have gone to the place of no thought. Um, and yeah, he very easily just sort of creeps around this convenience store, fucking with Shin. Austin tries to shoot him with his silence pistol. Looks like a H&K or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to not be like a gun identifier during this episode, but I did see some MP5s earlier, and I was just like, MP5. Um, uh, but yeah, this plays out about as well as you'd expect, and we can't really describe action scenes very well, but
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. It's a good time. It's very
Yes.
slapstick. It's almost got. I've heard reviewers say that it has some Jackie Chan DNA, and like early Chan Hong Kong
Yeah.
movie, like Police Story shit.
Yes, I can see that actually.
And I have to agree. Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Sakamoto finally closes the distance on him, and he's just like, "Oh fuck!" And he gets slammed across the store into the wall and loses consciousness.
Just knocks him out. Yep.
Yeah, he just Superman punches him into the
Yeah,
wall.
and then it cuts to the Skyrim opening scene after. It's really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Yes,
you're
that's
finally
true.
awake. Um, you know what's funny is I'm so Morrowind pilled that whenever people say the Skyrim joke, the first thing I think of is "Wake up, you were dreaming," instead of the cart.
Ah,
But
nice.
yeah, and then he wakes up, and then he wakes up in bed because there's a small child at the foot of his bed. It's just like, oh, he's woken up. It's
Ah,
just
he's
like
awake.
and
The
yeah,
man
it's
that
like
killed my daddy, or almost killed my daddy, is
just like, and that kid is clearly under the impression that nothing could kill her.
well, she's probably right.
He might be
uh,
right. I mean, it's
Invincible
I'd
fat
believe it.
man.
dubious on how much they told the child as well. Like,
Well, how much does the child understand?
As we used to call
Eh.
Dynamo from Deadbolt, the invincible fat man is here.
Yeah. Yes. Deadbolt? Deadlock?
It's fine. What
It's
I
fine.
said was fine,
Whatever.
and you didn't have to say anything about it.
Eyes emoji.
So yeah. And then they take him. They're just like get out of bed. Dinner's ready. And they make this incredible spread for him, and he's just like, "What's going on here?" It's
I
like,
like how the wife is just like, "How much rice do you want? A lot, extra a lot, or mega a lot?"
it's just like, do
He's
you want
like
a
a
super
normal.
serving? Do you want a super serving, a mega serving, or an ultra serving? And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
regular. And he's just sitting there, and he's just like, huh. Maybe he's trying to lull me into a false sense of security. I bet the
Maybe this
food is
food is
poisoned.
poisoned.
But I spent so long training my poison tolerance. He's not going to get me that way. And he grabs a piece of karage out of the basket, and he pops it in his mouth, and he just goes, "Oh my god,
It's the best thing I've ever tasted.
this is the best thing I've ever tasted. It's so delicious and warm." He's just like, "I finally get it." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, you're just tasting my cooking for the first time." You know, Sakamoto was like that.
Hmm.
And he's just like, I see. He just wanted to protect this humdrum life. That's why he got out of the business. Um, and he's outside later walking with Sakamoto. I don't know what they went and did. And he's just like, you know what? I think I really am gonna go. Really am gonna leave town. And nice, thank you for the meal. And Sakamoto just gestures at the sign on the wall, and it just says, "We hope to see you again, Sakamoto."
Yes, it's very cute.
He's just like, "Oh man." Uh,
Aw.
and our next scene is in a warehouse. He's sitting on a crate, and there's a whole bunch of Yakuza guys, and the boss from earlier, because we did see the boss, and the boss is a guy. Is
He's
it
He
not
just
looks
me, or
sufficiently, head of
He's
the
very much
mafia.
not the deer.
he's not the deer?
He is just
The
a
Hotline
typical
Miami
lobster.
guy has not showed up.
No, we don't know who that is yet.
He's probably going to be like the main villain of the season or something, if I had to guess.
Maybe.
Just from how that
I
all.
hope he's an
I don't know.
absolute freak. He, for whatever reason, I think I look at him and I'm just like, I hope he's a freak like Mr. N from Dorohedoro.
Yes. Oh my
That would be
god.
great
It's
if he
been a
just
long
said
time.
the most bizarre shit imaginable. If he got into an
But
argument
then
with,
he has a cute little doggy that he just
yeah,
adores.
like gets into an argument with his subordinates about like cufflinks or something.
I hope that he opens his mouth and he starts talking and he's voiced by Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
But anyway, yeah, this mob boss, did he have a big scar on his forehead, or was
I
that
think
just lighting?
he had a scar of some sort, but I don't know.
But he's just like, so you couldn't do it, could you? Like, is that why you called me here? And Shin immediately does the full apology, the full forehead
Oh yeah,
apology.
head on the ground.
And he's just like, please let Mr. Sakamoto live. He's built a life for himself in this community. Like he's made him. It's just like, why would you why would you want that? It's just like he's important to people, and he's just like, you know the rules. I can't let him live. Like you leave the organization without permission and you die.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sits up and he pulls out his gun and he puts it up under his jaw and he's just like, then let me die. He's just like. It's just like, what, you would die for this? It's like, and he's just like, yeah. And you get the impression that Shin doesn't have anybody in his life, which is kind of why he's willing to make this sacrifice.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right, fine. You take that bullet, and I'll leave Mr. Sakamoto. And then he thinks to himself, he's just like, yeah, just kill yourself already, so we can go get him. But Shin can read people's minds.
Yeah. So he's like, I heard that.
He's just like, I heard that. And then the guy's just like, shit, why did I forget you're psychic? Which I really appreciate that he like acknowledges the fuck up.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
And yeah, Shin is going to have a gunfight with these men, and he does well because he can read their fucking minds. He knows that a guy is going to come around the corner with a machine gun. You know, he knows where the next guy is. Another guy tries to knife him.
Yeah.
Why is one guy turning up to this with a knife? Like,
Hey Alexa, play Sympathy as a Knife.
like at this point, I feel like his boss should just be like, "Hey, man, like, did you forget your gun? Did you forget your gun at home? You can't be coming on these if you forget your gun at home. Like, this is not acceptable." like, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move you to janitorial services if you keep doing this shit.
I want to talk about the Sakamoto cave.
The Sakamoto cave is very good.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Because
very
while Shin is having this fight, that's desperate, but he is doing well. We cut to Sakamoto, and Sakamoto is listening to a pair of headphones and a bunch of gunshots. We
Very
will learn
clearly
later that
listening to the fight. Yeah.
that he has done something completely insane that is unexplainable, but I'll talk about it later. And Shin finally gets cornered because while he is clairvoyant, he's not the Flash. He catches a stray bullet. Two guys that he kills, one of them manages to fire, and he catches a glancing wound to the leg, which slows him down enough that he can be surrounded.
And then Sakamoto shows up.
Well, we have to cut back to Sakamoto Cave.
Yeah, no, you know what? You're so right.
Because Sakamoto is just like, and he puts down the
signals in
headphones,
the sky,
and he types in a code into his register and pushes a button. And yeah, all of his shelves retract and fold around to display all of the firearms and swords and shit he has. Also, incidentally, a shovel.
Maybe
Why
he
does
just
he?
really likes Shovel Knight.
Why does he? He has a shovel and a rake in his weapon collection with like dedicated pegs for them.
Listen, you gotta have a collection. You never know when you're gonna need a shovel or a rake.
I feel like
Maybe he was a gacha like player, but for guns,
Yeah, there we go.
and like one of the lowest like rarity weapons was like a shovel or something.
And then he's like, "Well, I can't get rid of this." So
I feel like the shovel, you either use the shovel enough that it shouldn't be in the cave and it should be in the shed behind the store, or you don't use it enough to guarantee its place in the Sakamoto cave.
This is specifically a murder shovel.
This is the murder shovel.
This is the shovel only for murders, which
but
suggests some interesting things about the rake. But yeah. Anyway, he reaches past all of this shit and picks up a taser. And then he just leaves.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's going to appear behind the guys that have surrounded Shin and electrocute all three of them with one taser.
Nice.
Which isn't really how tasers work. But
it can be how tasers work.
Maybe he's just really fast.
Well, I'm just wondering why, in that case, why he didn't pick a stun gun, which can do that.
It is what it is. Come on.
Nerd.
Come on now.
So yeah, he shows up and he's just like, I guess I have to whoop all these guys' asses, huh?
Yep.
And he proceeds to whoop all these guys' asses. Yeah, he catches some bullets out of the air with chopsticks,
He does
which I don't question, even though I question the taser. He throws some chopsticks into dudes, which seems vicious.
non-lethal.
There's blood.
There's quite a lot of blood, but he didn't kill them. Don't worry.
He didn't kill them. He's got some very strange lipstick tube switchblades that he brought with him.
He does stab people.
He does
very stab people.
I don't think he stabbed anybody, but he did slice some people.
Yeah, hard to say.
He did cut the front end off of a pistol. He did
do that.
He does the thing that I swear John Wick does at least once in the movies, where he rips the slide off of a Glock while a guy's trying to shoot him with it. And yeah, he dispatches the whole gang. And he's standing above Shin, and Shin is just like, wow, you really haven't lost it, have you? It's just like, you know what? I'm really going to leave town this time. I've decided. He's just like, but how did you find me? And he picks up Shin's pistol and he racks the slide, and a microchip flies out. And he says, "You bugged my gun, and everything in my mind says, how the fuck would that work?
He's
What
Sakamoto.
microphone could live through that experience?
Just go
This
through
the
it. Just
Sakamoto
accept.
microphone. This, yeah, you really gotta
Just-
like.
Just
high
bug
tech.
his clothes.
It's high tech.
Yeah, he's a hitman.
Come on.
He has access to the shit that we don't even know about.
Come on.
It's high tech. Come on. Accept it.
You really gotta.
Come on. He could have. Come on, using the
You know,
logic of the things that we've seen Sakamoto do himself, he could have just said, "I followed the smell of your cigarettes."
But he didn't do that. He had a microchip.
I
That's
mean,
fine.
maybe he also did that, and he just decided to save it for later on.
I hate it. I hate it. Anyway,
Anyhow,
but it's just like I can't thank you enough. I'm really going to leave town this time. And Sakamoto throws something at him, and he's just like, "What?" He picks it up, and it's a green apron, like the kind Sakamoto says, and it just says "shin" on it. And he just looks down at him, and he says the first thing he's actually spoken aloud.
Yes, he is
The
finally
whole time,
speaking
and
words.
he's just like, "It's 800 yen an hour, and if you happen to
For
work
overtime.
overtime, it's paid."
Extra pay.
And the next scene is them at the convenience store, and Shin is just standing up, and he looks like he doesn't know how he got here. And he looks down at Sakamoto, and he's just like, "Can you not eat your cup ramen so close to me? Like, I got a brand new shirt."
Does he think the noodles are gonna fly off all over the place?
He's never eaten real food until the day
He's
before.
right. No, I'm coming out strongly on the other side.
Oh, congratulations.
I have a collection of white undershirts, and I swear to God, every time I eat ramen, I somehow get soup on them.
Yes, but this is your own shirt, not someone else's shirt.
Someone else's.
I am so careful. I am so careful.
The noodles just flying all over the place.
But I look at my shirt later, and it's just like there's this like an arterial spray of fucking soup stains on it. I'm just like, oh man, my fucking shirt. So yeah, he's right to be concerned.
Oh man,
That shit is like
so
that shit is a
funny.
crime scene.
Oh.
Anyway, he finds a way that his skill can aid him in his new job anyway, because as he's talking to Sakamoto, he just hears ding, and he looks over and sees a tiny old Japanese grandma looking around confused, and he's just like, "Oh, here."
She's
And
like, "Wow,
gets
this
some
is exactly
detergent.
what I was looking
She's
for."
like, "How did you know I needed detergent?" And the little girl is just like, "Shin always knows." And the brat kid from earlier is just like, "Come on, play with me." And he's just like, "As soon as I'm done working." And it's just like, "What makes you want to work here anyway?" He's just like, "Well, it beats the hell out of my other job." He's just like, "Well, what was your other job?" And he just hears Sakamoto's thoughts that are just like,
Tell him and
"Tell him
you
and you're
die.
dead." I was cleaning
Yep,
I
cleaning.
was cleaning up society.
Yep, cleaning. Don't worry about it, kid.
He should have just said janitorial services. But
There we go. That'll work.
and that's the end of the episode.
That was good.
This show is charming enough. Bugging a gun aside. I don't have the other thing, like the two balls thing isn't a complaint so much as like fear has been struck
Beer,
into
yes.
me.
I thought it was funny as hell.
This man is a magician.
This was very charming. I really liked it. I want to watch more.
I
really
already
wanna
have the
watch more.
Shonen Jump app loaded to read more after the episode's done. So
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that anyone who was saying that they were worried that this was going to look bad, I think they were jumping the gun, because I think this looked
there
fine.
were a couple of scenes where Shin looked a little funky.
Listen, it's not the most sky breaking, dazzling animation that I've ever seen on an anime. But
Eye-breaking, huh?
Sky breaking.
I don't know. Sky,
Breaking.
I'll say
sky.
this: the initial fight that opens the episode is not that impressive. However, subsequent fights, especially ones in more intimate surroundings, like just in the small convenience store, are actually quite good.
They're pretty good.
Even if the frame to frame like animation isn't like 5-star quality, the keyframing is what matters, and it's excellent. Like the
Yeah.
storyboarding for this is great.
Yes.
Like
Like,
Sakamoto,
that's
like dunking a guy into a dumpster across the room
yes.
is perfect. You
It's really good to see. Yeah, I think you're right about that. They're nailing the important parts. But yeah, the jokes were working for me.
hmm
This made me laugh multiple times, like very loud multiple times.
hmm
And I like Sakamoto. I think he's got a really charming design, and yeah, I like this show. It's good.
I kind of have to be on Team Sakamoto because I am a Sakamoto. Um,
Yeah.
whether or not I'm a world-class assassin is up for you to decide. But anyway, uh, anyway, if you've got a favorite hitman, you can tell us about them at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one word, not the number. Come join us on Twitter and Blue Sky. We are
Fuck
at
Twitter.
One Episode Cast. Maybe just Blue Sky? I don't know. We've still got both of them, but
I
you
still
know.
manage the Twitter. It's still there till the bloody end, baby.
Till the bloody end. Come talk about us. Come. Yes,
Talk
talk about
about us.
us.
Talk
Talk.
about us to your friends.
I know how to use words, you guys. I
We're your
promise I do.
friends. We
We
have
are
a
your
personal
friends.
relationship with you, viewer.
You, the listener who is listening right now. Hey, I'm holding your hand. I'm whispering directly into your ear now. You have
I'm
to go find me Bambi for PS2.
I'm telling you right now that maybe I'll watch more of this, but I'll definitely watch more of the Fable. I just remembered it.
Nice. Watch them simultaneously. Tell us how that
Yeah,
goes.
yeah, great whiplash between the
Yes,
two.
yes, yes, yes. It'll be great.
Between a guy that does comedy bits where he knocks people out with jawbreakers and a guy who keeps bullets in a microwave.
Who wants to kill so
Who
bad?
wants to kill so
He
bad?
wants to kill so bad. He's like, oh
Um,
god, I miss killing.
anyway, um,
Bye, guys.
I miss
Wow.
killing as well.
Yes, I know you do.